This is how I play the game! Oh my god! What the fuck?
Holy shit! That is an epic fucking intro, dude.
And I have to warn everyone, warning, what you may see right now is going to be absolutely disgusting.
Sound good?
Alright, sounds good to me.
Then on Friday, it's the premiere of Super Smash Brothers Brawl. I almost said Melee and Brawl. It's Super Smash Brothers Ultimate. So do a Smash game. First stream, I'll be checking out the story mode. Second stream, I'll be doing online play. Yes, that means sadly I have to pay for the stupid Nintendo online service. It really sucks you have to pay for this thing. Because I hate to say it, I know for a fact in the next year I'm probably almost not going to play any Switch games. Because there are not. Like, what are the first party Switch titles coming out in 2019? Duh. I can't even name a single one. What's a first party Switch title we all want to play next year? So, that sucks. And I just don't, I'm going to be paying for this service, online play, to probably play Smash, and that's it. And I don't even know what it costs. I'm going to guess $20.
And I'm just gonna be dropping money, basically for nothing.
It's different. When you pay for Xbox Live or PlayStation Network, and you pay the monthly charge for it, right? At the very least, you're going to be playing multiple games on the services. You know what I mean? Like, yeah, not a ton. I certainly don't play a ton of games, but at least just right now on my PS4, I'm playing Black Ops 4 and Red Dead Redemption 2 online. And, just recently I played Soul Calibur. Soon I'll be playing more fighting games. See what I mean? Like, I get my money's worth out of it. If I pay for Xbox Live, same thing. But sadly, in this situation, we're basically going to be playing for a service that I know I'm probably only going to be getting one game. And that kind of stinks that I'm going to have to drop $20 on it.
I'm open to people sending me stuff. I need that money. I really do. I need that money to pay my bills.
But it is what it is, I guess. Nintendo basically wanted to make extra money for nothing. And they said, well, if everyone else is charging for their online play, we should too. So they did. And of course, Nintendo fanboys yet again. Oh, no complaints. We'll just do whatever they say. It was a big uproar when PlayStation Network went from being free to a paid service, but then when Nintendo does it, no one cares. Hilarious, right? But anyway, yeah, Smash Brothers on Friday. Then to start off today, B-Boy Cyclone resubbed for the 13th month in a row. He says, let's get Final Fantasy 13 playthrough back on YouTube. Looking forward to the stream. B-Boy Cyclone, I wish. Here's the deal. For those who aren't aware of what's going on in regards to many playthroughs that have vanished from YouTube, in particular Final Fantasy 13, Red Dead Redemption Undead Nightmare, the original playthrough, L.A. Noire, and a few more even, okay? What happened was, I used to have separate YouTube channels for various playthroughs, because back in the day, before these Let's Plays were even, widespread allowed, there were certain companies that sadly would strike you down for doing Let's Plays of their games. Some of the ones that were infamous for doing it were Rockstar and Square Enix, alright? So when I played those games, Final Fantasy 13 and other Rockstar games, I put them on separate YouTube channels, okay? After a while, I'd say probably around 2010, 2011, that wasn't a concern anymore. Everyone could just do Let's Plays of whatever without fear that you're going to get copyright strikes. And when that happened, I just put everything onto DsPgaming, and the rest was history, okay? However, those channels always just stayed where they were because I said, let's just leave them on the internet so people can watch these playthroughs at their own leisure, alright? And it always worked out well. However, sadly, what ended up happening was, a couple years ago, some assholes, I don't even know who they were, but they must have been European.
Huh?
They found a way to hack 2 of my channels. Okay? They hacked those 2 channels that had those separate playthroughs on them. They got access to those channels. I couldn't even get access back because everything on YouTube is automated. I couldn't even contact someone and say, no, look, those are my channels. I have the original videos. I can prove that that's me who made those videos and I own those channels. There was no one to contact. The whole thing's automated, and I couldn't get the automated process to work to get ownership of those channels back. So whoever hacked these channels basically stole the channels and then started broadcasting, football games, soccer games on them illegally, and then those channels got shut down and removed from YouTube. So it really sucks because it's lame. It's lame that I had this work, right? Some of my original works on YouTube that people really like that are gone now because of these assholes. Now people have said, well, Phil, why don't you re-upload those videos? Well, there's 2 reasons why I haven't done it.
Laziness? Because I'm lazy.
Number one, because if I spammed DsPgaming with an insane amount of short videos again, remember, those videos were less than 10 minutes long. When I made those playthroughs, YouTube wouldn't even allow videos longer than 15 minutes. So you're talking videos that are probably 9 minutes long each. Hundreds of them. Can you imagine if I uploaded Final Fantasy 13 and Red Dead Redemption to DsPgaming in a day? It would be like 300 videos, and I would get monster backlash. People would unsubscribe in droves. People would stop watching in droves. So I couldn't even do that. That's number one. Number two, I don't even know where those files are. I know I have them somewhere, but they're probably stored on external hard drives from 5-10 years ago, and I don't even know if the hard drives work. I have no clue what hard drive they're on. You're basically asking me to take time away from doing active new content to try to search through 10-year-old legacy hard drives in the hopes that they still work and I'll somehow find the content. There's no guarantee that I will. Alright? So the bottom line is, sadly, it's just not viable. Okay? It's not. And quite honestly, is there a giant clamor for me to upload Final Fantasy 13 or my original Red Dead Redemption playthrough? No, there's not. I'm quite being very honest with all of you. There's actually no real desire for me to do it. Plus, people are like, oh, upload Suicide Kings. I can't. Suicide Kings was a series that I did in Red Dead Redemption that had copywritten music in it. So if I were to upload Suicide Kings, I'd either get copyright strikes against DsPgaming, or they would just mute the videos for having the copyrighted music in it now. So there's literally no point in me even trying to re-upload Suicide Kings. They're basically just lost forever because of the way that YouTube did this, okay?
Ow! Why'd you do that? Why did you do that? Why'd you just go to bite mommy? Wow. Alright, so you see what pigs can do.
You don't bite the hand that feeds you, I guess is what you say, but at the same time, when someone bites me, I'm gonna bite back.
It sucks. In reality, I agree with everyone. To have this legacy content missing is kind of a hole in my history. It does stink, but there's not a hell of a lot I can do about it. Alright? The good news is, Suicide Kings will write again. At least we're gonna try to get them to write again in Red Dead Redemption 2. Black Mage C-Types, and moving forward, why don't you label your hard drives? I do. In fact, it's been since I moved here in 2014, I have labeled every single hard drive that I've stored anything on, so at least I have a general time frame of knowing what stuff is. The problem is, before then, I really didn't, and so, I have hard drives dating back to, like, 2010 that, if I would have no idea, I'd be plugging in hard drive, searching. That is, again, if they even work. So there's no point in doing it at this point, okay?
It's Tevin's fault.
Alan Ridge did a 50-bit series, and when you ask people to actively oppose Article 13, isn't it similar to others telling people to go out and do political activities like voting in elections? No.
I'm not a hypocrite. You're just stupid because you don't listen to what I say. You literally ignore the explanation a million times to make your argument that I'm a hypocrite, when in reality, you're just a moron.
It's not similar at all. And anyone with half a brain would know that, because there's a difference between trying to directly influence someone's actions in life based on their own political beliefs or their own desire to have a political belief, versus trying to get someone off their butt because literally the thing that they're watching is going to go away overnight if they don't act, okay? If you want to act on politics, that's up to you guys. I'm not here to tell you, oh, drop everything you're doing and go vote. That's, in my opinion, disrespectful. If you don't vote today, you're not doing your duty and blah, blah, blah. It's in everyone's right to decide if they want to vote or not. And when voting day came around and so many streamers and YouTubers were being basically dickheads to their viewing audiences and saying, I think you're a bunch of little immature kids who just sit around and do nothing, so go vote, that was, like, disrespectful to me.
And actually, it does the opposite to me when someone tells me, do this because it's best for you. It makes me feel like I shouldn't do it. That's the mentality of a small, brainless child. It's like a 5-year-old kid, The rantings of, like, a 5-year-old.
But when in this case, this is a case with Article 13. If people in the European Union do not act and stop this article from passing, there will not be Twitch or YouTube in the European Union, period. You will go from literally hundreds of thousands of people able to create content for you on a daily basis and broadcast, and millions of people watching a day, to maybe, 100 people who will have permission to do it, and, very few people able to watch. It's going to destroy YouTube and Twitch. This is a very big difference, okay? This is not me telling you, oh, I feel that you're an immature idiot who doesn't vote and you should go do it because that's what's best for you. This is me telling you, if you don't do something about Article 13, that's it for Twitch and YouTube if you live in the European Union. It's over. I mean, and not exaggeration, both Twitch and YouTube have come out and said, we will just block the entire European Union. We don't care. There's nothing else we can do. We're not going to shut down operations for this stupid law, so we'll just ban everything. It's a truth, okay? So you have to take action. You have to. This is a case where, I don't like to get involved in politics, but you absolutely have to, because if you don't, that's the end of it, all right? That's the end of everything. And how many people's livelihood?
My livelihood would be affected. I'm hypocritical. Very, very, very hypocritical. King of hypocrisy.
How many of you guys watching right now are in the European Union? Guess what? No more me, no more anyone. You will not be here. You will not be on Twitch. It will be over. You see what I mean? Andy131 did a 420-bit cheer. He says, smoke a doobie and get groovy. Well, thank you, Andy, for the support. Let's get Andy up on the leaderboard. I guess it's kind of funny, because, you know, there's so many people who are into this, like, pot culture. You know what I mean? It's its own thing. You got High Times magazine and people that are so into marijuana. I moved out here to Washington State where marijuana is legal in the state. I can literally right now walk into a store, a dispensary. There's one right down the street from me, and I can buy pot if I want it.
Smoke weed every day. Moment of zen. Namaste. Okay.
And I have no desire to do so. Yet there's people across this country who go illegally and buy it, you know, through shady means every single day to get their weed fix. It's pretty funny.
Oh, yes, third. I'm sure that vaping during playing games would be great. Yeah, I want to look just like Tevin. I want to be vaping constantly. He's my idol, if you guys didn't know. The guy who literally spends his entire day copying and restreaming me, he's my idol. I wish I could be like him. I wish I didn't have to put out original gameplay content, you know, based on skill and talent. I wish that I could just ride on the coattails of other people, but I'm not good enough, I guess. Damn.
Kanji Monster Cheer says, well, I'm confused. Why do you keep those hard drives around if they might not work and you can't upload the contents? Because, as I just said, Kanji Monster,
I'm stupid.
if I needed anything from the past 4 to 5 years, I can get it. Anything from 2014 on, I started labeling the drives, and the drives are more modernized, by the way. When I started, guys, external hard drives were giant. You may not realize this. External hard drives in, like, 2010, 2009, these things were monsters. They were loud as shit. You'd plug it in, it would go vibrate and shit. That's how external hard drives were back then. Technology has advanced tremendously in the last decade. Now they're these little pocket-sized things that are silent, and they run super quick. Back then, they were slow pieces of shit, okay? The reason I kept them back then was because, if you guys remember, at the end of the year, I would do things like the funniest moments of the year countdown, the most disappointing games of the year, game of the year awards. So I needed to have those videos on hand so I could pull them from the hard drives and edit, because to re-download shit, like I upload to YouTube, to re-download videos from YouTube was a chore back then, and it was better to just go from the raw files to edit the stuff together for the countdowns, okay?
I'm not Mr. Commercial. I'm not a guy who's here to put out overproduced content that was obviously created to make money. I'm just a guy here enjoying games and having fun on a daily basis. I'm gonna be real honest with everyone. Just making an edited YouTube video is very easy. Doing live improv reactionary commentary is tough. The hard shit is sitting here playing the raw games. That's the hard part. Streaming is way harder than just editing videos for YouTube. Okay? It is. Real talk.
Plus, what you guys have to realize is that back in the day, it was a gray area. What I was doing, you know, it wasn't like Let's Plays were absolutely prevalent on the internet. They weren't. In fact, they were not commonplace that people would be doing full Let's Plays and stuff like that when I started. So originally, those first few years, the reason I saved the files was legally. If anyone ever tried to come after me and say, oh, you don't own those videos, that was not you, that's not your content, I could say, oh yeah, here it is. It's physically on this fucking drive, and I can pull it up right now and show you the date that I made it and everything. So that's really why I originally kept the files. The reason I keep them today, again, is for the year-end series stuff, but mostly, again, in case something were to happen. Let's say YouTube screwed me over, right? Now, at least, I have the past 5 years of content available on hard drives right away, and I can access it and re-upload it somewhere else if I so choose, okay?
It's gross. It's for this. It's not because they love what they're doing. It's not because for the love of the game or because they're true gamers. It's for this. And this is what it's become. It's not about putting out a quality review. It's not about putting out a quality playthrough or a quality stream. It's about making this.
So there you go. That's why I still save it, okay? That's why. You're absolutely right. When it comes to the legacy content, the old stuff, pretty much it's ineffective, and those hard drives are pretty much worthless. But for the last few years, since hard drives became more modernized, I have all these little portable ones that I've labeled, all right? Yes, that content is definitely a lot more viable to pull up at a moment's notice and do stuff with, okay?
What we want, good shit.
Darkseid feels a stupid, cowardly, ugly, jobless, narcissistic, egotistical man-child who begs for people's money just by sitting on his fat ass, sucking a video games 24/7 and will never adapt to a professional level in gaming. Do not donate to this loser. He only using your money just to buy fast food, making his fans
I buy fast food
bills and keeps Moses unearned.
Okay. Now back to the game. I use my money to buy fast food. That's interesting. As you know, fast food is very expensive these days. What pasta do you prefer? I prefer a penne. Oh! Easy to eat. Oh! Phil's a faggot. Phil's fat. Phil's a loser. Phil's a beggar. Phil's a racist. Phil's a scammer. DSP's a pedophile. DSP is a thief. DSP is a greedy fuck.
This guy's a bitch.
I have a micro penis. Alright, I'm not dead, but I swear to God I wish I fucking was.